live interaction from 6 o'clock onwards. So for half an hour, we'll be giving a good a briefing about how the course will be and how you are being helped or trained and equipped to the workforce. Okay, so I'm handing over to Sergeant Sir. So he will give an introduction about the course and what it is all about. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Pooja. Thank you. So good evening, friends. Hope you all are having your good time and had your tea also. So on behalf of ICT Academy, at the very outset itself, I would like to thank all of you for joining this session. And I welcome you all to this first live session. So let me brief. I'm sure many of you, or almost all of you, will be familiar about ICT Academy. But let me brief about ICT in a short word for who are not familiar with ICT Academy. ICT Academy is Information Communication Technology Academy of Kerala. It's a PPP, public-private partnership model, formulated by Government of Kerala. We were formulated in 2014, and our mandate was to improve the employability skills of graduates in Kerala. So we are headquartered at Technopark Trivandrum, and we do have 2 regional centers at Cyberpark Kozhikode and Infopark Koratti. So with regard to this session, which we are which we are scheduling right now, this is all in connection with the EY Ernst & Young campus drive, which is scheduled. And as all of you know, EY Ernst & Young is our industry partner from our inception onwards. And they were kind enough to extend their recruitment opportunity for Kerala exclusively for ICT Academy. And we have decided to extend this opportunity to all our connected colleges in the state. And that was the reason why we reached out to your colleges and informed your faculty coordinators from ICT side to reach out to students and inform this communication to all the students from final year. So the eligibility criteria and all other things are already familiar to you, and based on which you have applied. And now ICT has decided, because as you all know, EY is having more than a number good opportunities for the students, and if they find talented students, they are ready to intake them because they are having a good opportunity with them, opening with them. So as an initiative or as a goodwill effort from our ICT side, we thought to give you a support mechanism in helping you, or either in enabling you to clear the process of EY. So in that connection, ICT Academy has decided to offer you aptitude training sessions, which will be five sessions we will be offering you, live sessions, starting from today onwards till 3rd November. We will be having 5 sessions, and the details of which is already shared to you via mail. And the same Zoom link you can access through the same link for all the 5 sessions. And apart from that, we will be extending you self-learning platform and other methods also, which will be briefed to you shortly after my this welcome address. So that is all about this initiative from ICT, and I wholeheartedly seek your wholehearted support in making this initiative a grand success. And I request all of you to participate in all the 5 sessions which are scheduled. So apart from me, we are having my colleagues from ICT Academy, Miss Pooja. She will be leading the orientation session from 5 to 5:30. 5:30 to 6. She will be leading the session. She will be briefing you about the self-learning platform, DWMS, and all other things. She will be briefing you. And apart from Pooja, we have Mr. Agish from Academic OU, Mr. Nitin, IT from ICT Academy. So on behalf of I welcome you all to this session. And once again, thank you for joining, and please be cooperative in this session. And I welcome Pooja to handle this session. Thank you, Pooja.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for that introduction. So, so we are using DWMS. We are using a platform for the learning. So that is the name is LMS. So we have a learning management platform. So here we are providing free aptitude and communication training. So this is for 30 hours. So I will share you the link. I think you have already got it in your mail, but in the chat, I'm again sharing that link. So you can just click the link and open, and you will have your credit. I think you have got your credentials also. So using that, you can log in. So I will just share my screen and show you how it is. It looks like. Okay. Can you see my screen? Hello? Can anyone reply?
Hello, Pooja. Yes, yes, it's visible.
Okay. Okay. So this is your like a remote workforce training. This is a plan. So you will have like 2 weeks of class. So it will be like a mix of live sessions as well as self-paced learning. Okay. So this training will be having aptitude as well as life skills. So the first week we will be covering the aptitude training. So this will have general aptitude skills, then different parts of general aptitude skills. Then you will have a practice test, and after that week 2, that will be covering the life skills, so communication skills, that will be covered in week 2. So this is we will have a mix of recorded videos as well as practice problems in the LMS. So whenever you have time, you can access that according to your convenient time. So this is like a 5 days, as sir has already told. So 5 days each week. So into 2 hours, 5 days into 2 hours. That means 10 hours. So the live session will be happening from 6 to 8 p.m. So it will be happening from up to second. So you can during the live session you can interact with the trainer, and also parallelly you can do the practice problems, and if you have any doubts in the problems, you can interact with the trainer, and you can make use of that opportunity during the live session. So that is the whole purpose of the live interaction. The thing is that during the live interaction session, we will not be able, the trainer is only getting 2 hours. So you will have so many doubts and clarifications. So during the live session, he'll not be able to cover all the contents, or yes, all the areas cannot be covered. So you have to do the self-paced learning as well parallelly, and you can come back and ask the doubts on the practice questions which are given in the LMS platform. So you can please make use of that opportunity. So I will just show you the LMS platform. Okay. So this will be the LMS platform. So I think you will have your credentials that is already given to you. So using that link, you can log in that dwms.org, which I have shared in the chat. Okay. So you can go to the chat, you can click the link, and you have to log in using your username. Okay. So log in using the given email ID, which you have registered with ICT Academy. So that will be the username, and password will be DWSM then #713. I think these credentials are also shared in your mail. Okay, so this D should be capital. So you can log in using your username and password. Then the group name that which you are assigned to is ES to 27 October 2022 batch 1 group. Okay, so this is your login credential. Okay, you can see this, right? Can I get some response in the chat? Okay, okay. So when you log in this platform, okay, dwms.ictkerala.org, so you will be seeing lot of contents. So okay, so you get, this is the so I told you have two parts, like aptitude as well as life skills. So in the first week you will be all the aptitude training will be given. So you can access this. See, we have already set it from 5:30 p.m. onwards from today. So all the aptitude part, from aptitude and numerical reasoning, then numerical reasoning number system, then ratio, proportion, time and work, pipes and cisterns, simple interest and compound interest, averages. So all this will be available for you from 5:30 p.m. today. So if you have access to that, or if anybody is not able to access that, can I please know about that? Or if it is accessible for you, can you just put yes in the chat? Just try it out and see whether it is accessible. Means all the aptitude session, not the life skill portion. Just log in and try using the username and password. Okay, I'm getting so many yes. Okay, that is good. So the thing is, so these are the self-paced learning. Okay, this is a part of self-paced learning. So the thing is, you have to make use of this opportunity. This is a great opportunity for you. So make use of this opportunity whenever you get time. You try to work out the questions. You try to cover these portions, and so there will be so many questions and all. So try to see the recorded videos as well as the practice problems. And during the live session, you can come up, you can enhance your knowledge. You can come up with doubts and clarifications as well. So this session will be handled by a trainer from Confidence. Okay, so he will be joining soon. So that will be a good opportunity for you. So please make full use of this opportunity. Have you got any questions or concerns to ask? You can interact in the chat. Is it clear up to here? Yes. Okay. Okay. Username and password. So Amisha is telling you didn't get the username or password, or username and password. I think it is sent to your mail. I'll just share the screen and show you. So this is the given mail ID, whichever mail ID you have given to ICT Academy. So that will be the username, and password will be this one, DWSM#713, and D should be in capital. Okay. Sergeant, sir, anything else we need to add?
No, Pooja, nothing. But at the end of this, to all the participants, once these training sessions are over, by next Saturday, not tomorrow, next Saturday, there will be a screening test will be conducted, and based on the that will be the screening test, and those who are that criteria will be shared to you later. And those students who are scoring a certain percentage of mark only will be permitted to enter the process for EY. So you may need to take it very seriously, and you need to practice yourself using our platform or by your own. You need to practice. Then only you can have that. You can score that minimum marks required to clear the next process.
Okay, so I hope it is clear for you. So I can see a raised hand. Lakshmi, you want to ask something? If I need to repeat something, you can communicate in the chat. When will be the screen test? Okay, so, that will be after 1 week. So you have got the plan with you, right? So I think I had shared it once. So can you see this? So you will have 2 weeks of session. So after the first week, you will have an online assessment or practice test. So the duration will be 1.5 hours, and the date will be November 4th. The time will be informed to you later. Okay. And week 2 will be we'll be following this pattern. So that will be like after the self-paced learning will be the instructor-led live interaction session. That will be for week 2. So if any changes or something happens, it will be communicated to you. But as of now, this is the plan with which we are going to conduct the sessions.
And Pooja, one more one more request I am raising to all the participants is that we are because so far around 4,000 students have registered for this drive, and we are extending this opportunity to all those participants. But only some 200 around participants have joined this. So if any of your friends or classmates are still not joined this session, please ask them to join, because we will be having this session till we will offer this 5 sessions in a series from today, tomorrow, and Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So 5 sessions will be there on the same time frame from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. 2 hours will be handled by an expert team who are known for their aptitude training. So that will be really work for you. So I request all of you to use this opportunity, and please inform your other friends or classmates who have already registered for this drive and who have not joined yet. So please ask them to join. That is my request to you. Okay.
Sajid, I also would like to add regarding the question. One of the students asked when the screening test is going to happen. As Pooja is mentioned, there is a practice test is going to happen on Friday, but screening test is going to happen on Saturdays and Sundays. The time slot and the other information you will get through mail. Actually, we will send a mail communication, because we can't be able to keep the test for all the students in a single time slot. So we will send a mail communication to all the students. It will happen on Saturday and Sunday of next week. That means it is on 5th or 6th. Following that, you having a orientation from EY team also, that is scheduled on around, I think, 9th, you may having a orientation from EY team on the EY process. What are the process EY is planning to do as part of their onboarding. Generally, it having 3 stages. First stage is actually EY's one screening test is there. That is the first stage. Second stage is they having a technical interview. Third stage is they having a HR interview. So in the 3 stages, they're planning to do their process. So all those details will be briefed to all the participants on that orientation that is delivered by EY team after this practice as well as the screening test.
So we have a few questions in the chat. What to do after login? So after login, you can see the screen, right? Like, okay, I had shown it before. So under the remote workforce training program, you will be able to see the content. So should I show it again? Is my screen visible? Okay, so I think you can see like this. So all this will be open for you. Okay, means a minute. Okay, so you will be able to see aptitude and numerical reasoning, then numerical reasoning, all these things will be open for you by now. So if there are any, then some other concerns also I saw in the chat. Somebody is telling they're not able to log in. Maybe you can send a mail to that respective team so they can check whether user, maybe your mail ID is not matching. So you have to give the same mail ID which you had given in ICT Academy. Okay. So that may be. Explain the login. Okay, the login credentials. I think it is already sent to your mail. So the username will be the given. Okay, I'll share in the chat once. Okay. Okay, I've shared that in the chat. So that will be the username and password for login credentials. If it is still not working, you can send a separate mail. You can reply to the mail which you had got regarding your login credentials. Okay, so you will get a response from our team. Okay. So someone is telling like they have an industrial visit from November 4th to 12th. So how to attend this? So regarding the screening test, those details will be given to you. Okay, that will be informed as Sriguma sir has informed you already. So at that time you can individually you can ask it. Okay, or you can ask the team. I think there are no other questions. So Kishan sir is available. So we have an expert team from Confidence. So they will be handling the session. So the live interaction session that will be starting today from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. So please, all of you, please make use of this opportunity. So all the best for your future. Happy learning. So over to you, Kishan sir. Welcome
Thank you, ma'am.
to.
Thank you.
Yeah, welcome you to ICT Academy.
Good evening, everyone. Am I audible? Can you hear me? Please give me a feedback. Thank you. We have quite a good number of people to attend the session. That's very good. Now, before I move on with the topic for the day, we will look at a few aspects of this 2-hour session, why we are doing this, how we are going to go about doing this, and what is it all about. Because we will be together for 10 hours. Today is the first 2 hours of this 10 hours training session. Today, that is Friday, we have 2 hours. Then Saturday, we have 2 hours in the same time slot from 6 to 8. Then we go on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. So 28, 29, then 31, 1, and 2. That is the schedule for this training program. Let me just take a small presentation before we go on. Can you give me a feedback whether you are able to see the presentation? I have just put up a Word file, aptitude preparation. Thank you. I would like to know a little bit about my audience. I would like to know who you are, what you are doing. In a single chat message, I'll just put you the format. I want your degree and place where you are from. Okay. I want your degree and place where you're from, just for me to understand your background. Just as a single message, please type in DCA Kochi, yeah, like that. I want all of you to respond. So we have people from a quite a diverse background attending this session. So I'll cater to all of your requirements to the extent that is possible. So let me start off with a basic introduction to this session. we are looking at aptitude preparation here. We are looking at aptitude preparation. And when you look at aptitude preparation, and when you do anything for that matter, be it aptitude preparation or technical preparation, anything, you need to understand or you need to address 3 basic questions. That is, why are you doing this? Why? This is a very fundamental question. Why should you do this? Okay. And what is this all about? If I say aptitude preparation, what is this all about? And how are we going to go about doing this? We'll address these 3 questions to begin with, and then we will move on to a few concepts and topics that is particular for that topic. So can you tell me, why are we doing this? We are all together for 10 hours. Today is the first 2-hour session. Why are we doing this? Why that we are doing an aptitude training for you? Can we have some responses? Yes, to get shortlisted, not enough skills, to improve our skills. Crack aptitude test papers. Crack the interviews. That's it. Get a job. Very good. Okay, let us put this in perspective. Now, when you are looking at why we are doing an aptitude test paper, if you look at what you are doing, you are all coming from different backgrounds. Some of you are BCom, BSc, BA students, BTech students. Okay, some of you have completed your graduation. Some of you are pursuing the graduation process. So we have a diverse set of people in this class, and we are all going to go through 10 hours of aptitude preparation. If you look at this, we are all looking for a good career. You are all looking for a good career, and you like it or not, we are living in the second most populated country in the world with the largest youth population. So there is no way in which we can get out of competition. I don't like competition, neither do you like competition. But there is no way in which we can get out of competition. So we need to compete. We need to ensure that our skills are up to the mark. Why? Because let's say a company comes over and says, we want 10 good candidates. The company wants 10 people to be recruited for the job. The job is very good. People are all attracted towards this job. Can someone tell me what are the parameters that you are looking for in a good job? Can you qualify a good job? Let me start with that. Good marks. Yeah, salary package is one. Balance. What do you mean by balance? Sabin, what do you mean by balance? I said a company wants 10 people for their job. The company is very good. The job is very good. People are all attracted. What are the parameters? Yeah, good work-life balance. Anything else? Skill is that you need to have, yeah, growth. You need to have a growth prospect with the company. Otherwise, you are not interested. Salary package, fast solution builder, that is your skill that you need to have. A job according to our qualification, skills, etc. Yes. So some parameters that you have described, one is a good salary package, another is a work-life balance, growth prospects. Let's say a company of this kind comes over and says, we want 10 candidates. The company wants 10 candidates. Now, from what I gather over here in this Zoom meeting itself, we have about 200 plus people attending the Zoom meeting. And we also have a live stream going on where a few more other people are attending this session. So let's say these 200 people are going to go through for these 10 jobs. Will this company interview all the 200? Will this company interview all the 200? Is that possible? because one, is very difficult to interview 200 people for a post of 10. It's not difficult to interview 200 people. They will not interview 200 people to take 10. If they want 10 people, possibly they will interview maybe 3 times. Let's say 30 people will be interviewed finally for taking this 10 people. From 200, it has to be brought down to 30. So in between, they will put a lot of filters, a lot of selection processes, a lot of screening processes, and bring it down to 30 and go for the final interview. This interview could be technical plus HR, maybe separate technical interview, HR interview. In between, there are a lot of rounds. One selection criteria could be based on your resume, your skills will be looked at, okay? And possibly your academic performance. If you are a fresher, possibly your academic performance will be looked at. So once this filter is going through, let's say out of this 200, let's say 100 people get through. Still, they need to reduce it to 30 for the interviews. And this is where a test paper comes in, and the test paper we call aptitude test paper. So one of the reasons why we are having this training program, one of the reasons why we are having this preparation is because at the entry level of any major recruitment, when there are too many people looking for a job, maybe when you are looking for even higher studies, like if you're going for an MBA, or if you're going for civil services, you'll write the test paper CSAT. If you're going for MBA, you write CAT. If you're going for a bank job, you write bank PO, bank clerical test paper. So wherever there are too many people coming together for a screening process, there is an aptitude test paper. Why an aptitude test paper? Because that is a very easy method to screen large number of candidates in one go at a very short period of time. Maybe in 1 hour, 2 hours, they can screen so big a number. And nowadays, the technology has come to a stage where you need not come physically to a place. You can take the test online. So it is very, very convenient. So this aptitude test paper is conducted, and from there, the number is brought down to a manageable level. So what does it have? What happens for an aptitude test paper? Let's try to address question one. What happens in an aptitude test paper? Now you're all learning a lot of skills at ICT. You learn coding, you learn a lot of technical skills. But before you are tested on your technical skills, they test you on 3 transferable skills, okay, which we call quant, logic, and verbal. These are actually problem solving. Quantitative ability is basically problem solving. Logical reasoning, LR, logical ability. And finally, the verbal part. This is verbal ability. Because nowadays, the language of communication in a corporate world where they have to interact with people from multiple or different backgrounds. Within our country itself, we have people from different parts of the country who don't have a common language. Okay, maybe there is some commonality in terms of Hindi. Some people understand Hindi, some people don't, but everyone understands English. If you're looking at the whole world, possibly English is the common link that will connect people of different countries. Okay, so you need to be good at English. You need to have usable skills. You need to have working skills in English language. That is being tested in verbal ability. So 3 areas: problem solving, logical reasoning, and verbal ability. These are called, these together we call it as aptitude sections. So before you are tested on your technical side, they will test you on these 3 areas: quantitative, logical, and verbal. Once you clear this, they will take you to the technical test paper. Sometimes what happens is, as part of the first test paper itself, quant, logic, verbal, along with that also you will have a technical test paper. It could be a multiple choice, or it could be a programming or a coding test paper. It could be either way. But definitely, big recruiters, where there is mass recruitment, they will test you on these 3 areas. Why? Because if I look at your background, you're all coming from different streams of graduation. Some of you are BTech, some of you are from computer science background, some of you are not from that background, some of you are BCom students, some of you are BSc students. So if you look at what you learn as part of your graduation, there is little common thing between all of you. So they can't test you on those areas if they are looking for a diverse set of people like yours. So they will test you on things that you have knowingly or unknowingly undergone over the last 15, 20 years of your formal education. All of us started with LKG, UKG, 1 to 10, plus 1, plus 2, 3 years or 4 years of graduation, maybe even post-graduation. So you would all have gone through about 15 years of formal education. Now, through this formal education, you have gained some conceptual understanding, both in problem solving, logical reasoning, verbal ability, and things of that kind, knowingly or unknowingly. These have gone into you. So if you are tested on these areas, everybody will be able to perform, and everybody will be at a common footage. And they can definitely analyze you, they can definitely check you for these 3 skills which are required for any job. Please keep in mind, these are not just tested for testing's sake. These are required for good performance in any job. Logical thinking capability, logical reasoning capability is very much required. You need to be, you are basically problem solving ability is required. You are hired to solve problems in the situation. And if you want to do well, you need to communicate well. And for that, verbal capability is required. So this is what you are tested on. But one difficulty when you prepare for an aptitude test paper is there is no syllabus as such. There is no syllabus for an aptitude test paper. Never ever come back from an aptitude test paper and say questions were out of syllabus. Why? Because there is no syllabus to begin. There is no syllabus for an aptitude test paper. They would simply say the test paper will be on quant, maybe logic, maybe verbal. They might classify that into sections. Okay. Other than that, they won't say what is inside that section. So how do you prepare for a test for which there is no syllabus as such? For this, you need to understand that the aim of this test paper is to be as broad-based as possible. And the aim of this test paper is to test you on 3 areas: problem solving, logical ability, and verbal ability. So when you do a post-mortem of these test papers, be it any corporate test paper or be it for any higher study test paper, if you do a post-mortem, you will see that there are about 50 important topics that you need to work on. Now, these 50 important topics can be further classified into maybe 25 in quant, maybe 10 in logic, and 15 in verbal. A little bit of change here and there could be possible, but overall, this is how it looks like. Now, out of this 50, if you prepare about 30, you are reasonably well prepared. Some of them are not that important. Some areas are more important. Some are less important. But if you could get time to prepare these 50 topics, that'd be wonderful. Because if you prepare these 50 topics, about 90% of the questions that you encounter in any aptitude test paper will come from these areas. So this preparation, or for that matter, any aptitude preparation will be basically hovering around looking and understanding these topics and concepts. Now, once you understand these concepts and topics, then comes your test preparation. That is, you need to have test practice. Even if you are completely aware of the topics concept-wise, if you don't apply that in a test situation, in a time crunch, you will not be able to qualify, you will not be able to clear the cutoffs in these tests. Okay. So once you are reasonably comfortable with a few topics, then you can start taking test papers. So let us move on. Let us look at this question. How are we going to address this preparation? Now, the time that we have together is about 10 hours. Today is the first 2 hours. Then we have 2 hours tomorrow. And Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, we have 2 hours each. So during these 2 hours, what we will be doing is we'll be covering the most important areas. We will not get time to cover all the 50 concepts and topics. We will cover whatever we feel is the most relevant, most return on time invested, those kind of topics. Some topics are more important. If you look at percentages, ratios, time, speed, distance, time and work, data sufficiency, data interpretation, verbal ability, these are all very important areas. So we will touch upon these, whatever is possible in these 10 hours, we will do as much as possible in these 10 hours. But we are not in a hurry. The aim is to make you think, make you work on these problems so that you will be able to attempt questions that come your way a little here or there. Even if the questions are twisted, you will be able to attempt And we plan to build your thinking capability, problem solving capability during these 10 hours as much as possible. Nowadays, please keep in mind that there is no dearth of content. In the earlier slides that you saw in the previous presentation, they have shown you quite a lot of content that is available with ICT Academy itself. We also, we are partners with ICT Academy in the aptitude training session. I represent the firm called Confidence, which is mainly into placement-oriented training programs. We are based from Cochin. And if you want content from our side, we also have a YouTube channel called Practice Classes, Praktiz, Practice Classes. You may take a note of this. Free videos have been uploaded there. You can have a look at this. And we have also provided some playlists so that you can go for quantitative first, logic, then verbal ability, or easier topics first, then a little more difficult. So you can have a look at this. Please note the spelling, PRAKTIZCLASSES. And during these sessions, as I said, we will be looking at least 15, 16 topics, most important topics, but we will not be able to cover all the 50. So the remaining, you can catch up with either our YouTube channel or the content provided by ICT Academy, or if you just go to Google and search on any particular topic, you will get enough and more content on those topics. The thing is, you need to be proactive. You need to understand that preparation is a must if you want to clear the aptitude test paper, because all of these people who are preparing will be having an edge if you don't prepare. So the process that we are going to have is we will go in a problem solving mode during these classes, and you can ask questions to the faculty in case you have doubt, and we will go on addressing most important areas during this session. That is what this training program is going to be all about during these 10 hours. Now, to move on, before we move on, if you have any particular questions regarding the overall structure of the 10-hour program, please feel free to ask. If you have anything on the overall requirement of aptitude preparation, please ask. Otherwise, I can move on to one of these specific topics for the day. We are addressing two topics today. We are looking at time and work, which is a very important topic. And we are also looking at time, speed, distance. These are two topics that we will cover in today's session. Before I move on, if you have any queries on general aspects, please feel free to ask. Any questions? Shall we move ahead? Please give me a yes if you are ready to move ahead. We have some good response for that. That means we can go ahead. Let me just pull out the presentation for time and work. Yes. Let's go on. Now, in this session, as I said, this is one of those important topics in aptitude preparation. This is a quantitative ability topic. Time, speed, distance is also a quantitative ability topic. We'll begin with time and work because this is an intuitive topic where you can put a lot of logical thinking into play. Let's start with a very simple, straightforward question. In a time and work problem, we are basically associated with three variables. One is time, The other is work. And the third one is labor or workforce. Let me show a simple question to all of you. I want your answers for this. I have shown a question in the presentation. Please put your thought and give me your answer. When men take 20 days to construct a house, in how many days can 6 men build the same house? That is the question. You're getting quite a few answers. Now, this is what makes aptitude preparation very much important, because all of you have given me an answer 12 quickly, because the way this question is presented, 10 men take 20 days. So how many days will 6 men take? This is the question. All of you just looked at this and thought that this is a ratio kind of thing. 10 multiplied by 2 is 20. So the answer should be 6 multiplied by 2, 12. Had that been the case, then one man would do the work in 2 days, isn't it? If that was so, none of us will get any job. Why would a person employ 10 men if that work will get done by one man in 2 days? It's economical and it is less time consuming, isn't it? So the answer is not 12. Answer is not a ratio kind of situation. Someone said the answer should be more than 20, right? How did you get that? Because 10 men take 20 days. So if the number of people come down, if it is brought down to 6, then definitely the number of days should be more than 20. Okay. So I have a few other answers coming up: 15, 33, more than 20, 5 and 40 days, 28. Let's see. Now, there are multiple methods to solve these aptitude problems. It is very important that you look at a problem and try to solve it in different ways. And once you are comfortable with all these thought processes, then we can go for shortcut methods, easier methods, faster methods. Time is also a premium thing in an aptitude test paper. If you want to do well, you need to practice doing these questions in as quick a time as possible, as least a time period as possible. But that should not be at the compromise of understanding, because if you just learn shortcuts, what happens is those shortcuts will be applicable only under specific circumstances. And many a time in aptitude test papers, there will be some twist which negates this usage of shortcut method. So we always should understand the basic logic, and then wherever possible, apply shortcuts over and above this basic thought process. Okay, so let's start our basic thinking. 10 men take 20 days to do some work. Let me call it W. Since it is work, let me use the variable W represent the work. Then, can you tell me how many days, how much work will they do in one day in terms of W? 10 men take 20 days to do W. How much work will 10 men do in a single day? Can someone tell me in terms of W? Total work is W. 10 men take 20 days to do W. So how much will 10 men do in a single day? In terms of W, it is W by 20, because If I bring down the number of days to 1 by 20th, the work also will become 1 by 20th. So 10 men in 1 day will be able to do W by 20. 1 by 20, if I take the work as 1. If I take the work as 1, then it would be 1 by 20. If I take the work as W, then what they do in a single day would be W by 20. What about one man? If I give one man 1 day, how much work will they do? Will that person do? One man in a single day? Yeah, it is W by 20 divided by 10. I brought down the number of people by 1 to 110. So the work that is done will also become 110 of W by 20. So if I take the total work as 1, it would be 1 by 200. Okay. Now what I want is, I want 6 men to work on this. So 6 men are working. How much work will 6 men do in a single day? One man does W by 200 in a day. So how much will 6 men do in a day? 6 men. 6 times what a man can do in a day. 6 men can do 6 times. So 6 multiplied by W by 200, 6 W by 200. Right? If I take the total work as 1, then this would become 6 by 200. Right? Now, what the question asks you to find is how many days will 6 men take to finish this work, which we have taken as W? How many days? Let's say X days. So if they work for X days, every day they will do 6W by 200. So in X days, they will do this multiplied by X, isn't it? And this should be equal to the total work. If they complete the work, this should be equal to the total work. And we have taken the total work as W. On both sides, W comes and that gets cancelled off. So what remains is X equals 600 by, 200 by 6. What remains is 200 divided by 6, which is 100 divided by 3. That is 33.3 days will be required. Or we can say 34 days. So the thought process was, we started off saying that the total work required is W, or I can even take it as 1, in which case we will take the total work as 1. We call it unit work method. So 10 men, 20 days, work done W. So if I bring it down to 1 day, 10 men in 1 day, they will do W by 20. If I bring the number of people to 1 man instead of 10 men, that 1 man will do W by 20 by 10, which is W by 200. Now what I want is, how much will 6 men do in a day? So 6 men will do 6 times. What I want is, how many days will they take to finish the work? I have taken the total work as W. So what 6 men will do in a day is 6W by 200. In X days, they will do 6W by 200 multiplied by X, and that should be equal to the total work W. So once you cancel off the W on both sides, we will get the answer as 33.3. Now, in this process, you should understand that in the final equation, W, the work comes on both sides, okay? And that gets cancelled off. So whatever we take as work, even if I take the work as 1 or 2 or 10 or 100, whatever it is, it doesn't matter. I will get the same answer because it comes on both sides and that will get cancelled out. Okay. So this is the generic method. Now let us see a faster method. How do you get to the answer quickly? Now that you understood that this is how you need to think, let us see how you can get to the answer faster. And that is very, very important in an aptitude test paper because time is a premium commodity and you will never get enough time to answer all the questions. So the more fast you are able to do these questions, the better. Let us look at that. 10 men take 20 days to do a certain work. Now, let us say the amount of work done by one man in 1 day is the amount of work done by one man in 1 day. Let me take it as 1. I'm taking the work done by one man in 1 day as 1. I'm defining a new unit of work called man day. What is a man day? A man day is the amount of work done by a man in a day. how much ever that is, let me take it as 1 unit. Then how much work will 10 men do in a day in terms of work? One man, what one man does in a day is 1. So what 10 men does in a day would be? What will 10 men do in a day? 10. So it will be 10. So if 10 men work for 20 days, if 10 men work for 20 days, how much will they do? Every man will do 1 unit a day. 10 men will do 10 units. Likewise, they work for 20 days. So they will do 200. So if I take the work done by one man in a day as 1, total work is 200. Total work is 200. Now I have 6 men coming. What I have taken is the amount of work done by a man in a day is 1. So how much will 6 men do in a day? How much will 6 men do in a day? 6. One man does 1 unit in a day. So 6 men will do 6 times. So 6 men will do 6 units in a day. My total work is 200. My total work is 200. Right? My total work is 200. Every day, 6 men will do 6. So how many days will they take? That is what we need to find. Let us say they take X days. So 6 multiplied by X. 6 multiplied by X should be equal to the total work 200. So the answer would be 200 divided by 6, which is 100 divided by 3, or 33.3 days. This is how you get to the answer quickly. What did I do? I took the amount of work done by a man in a day as 1 unit. So what 10 men does in a day would be 10 times 10 units. So what 10 men will do in 20 days will be 10 multiplied by 20, which is 200. Okay. 200 is the total work. Now, if 6 men come, they will do 6 units in a day. 6 plus 6 plus 6 plus 6, n number of days. It should reach 200. So what is that number of days? 6 multiplied by x days should be equal to 200. So x will be 200 divided by 6. That is 33. Are you getting it? Yes or no? Yes, very good. Then can you tell me how much time will 20 men take to do this work? 10 men take 20 days. 10 men take 20 days. How much time will 20 men take to do this work? 20 men, very good. They will take 10 days. Because we have taken the total work as 200. What one man does in one day, I have taken as 1. So 10 men into 20, they will do 200. So total work I have taken as 200. What I want is, how much will 20 men take to do this work? So 200 divided by 20 will be 10. Can you tell me how much will 5 men take to do this work? 5 men. Very good. 40. That is 200 divided by 5. Answer will be 40. So keep in mind, when the number of people doubles, time taken becomes half. When the number of people becomes half, time taken becomes double, and so on. Now that you have got a hang of this, let us move on to a little more involved question. Let's try this. We have a mixed group of people. Some men and women are coming together. Let's try this. Have one answer. Now another answer coming up. Think over and give me your answer. Don't look at what others have answered. Now, one thing that you should always do when you do these problems is never ever be in a hesitant mode. Go ahead and attempt the question, even if it is wrong. Your thought process, we will correct if it is wrong. Don't be hesitant to give your answers. Whether it's right or wrong, it doesn't matter. You need to participate. Participation is one of the very key points in learning. If you don't participate, you don't learn. If you make a mistake and rectify that, you will learn much faster. You will not make that mistake again. So here we have 10 men and they are constructing a house. Let's say this is the house. 10 men take 20 days to build this house. The same house can also be built by a group of women. If 5 women come, they say that they will take 50 days. Now let's analyze this. Here, 10 men take 20 days, 5 men take 50 days. What we want is, how many days will a group of 5 men and 5 women, this is the new workforce, how many days will this new workforce take to build this house? That's the question. Now let's see what happens if it was 5 men. Can you tell me how many days will 5 men alone, how many days will 5 men alone take to build this house? Is the same question that we saw earlier, isn't it? So when the number of people becomes how? Instead of 10 men, when it becomes 5, the number of days will be doubled. Or 10 multiplied by 20 is the total work, 200 is the total work. So 200 divided by 5, it would be 40 days. So if 5 men come for work, they would take 40 days. And if 5 women come for work, they will take 50 days. Now 5 men and 5 women are coming together, isn't it? If 5 men are supported by 5 women, will they take more time or less time? Will they take more time or less time? Less time. So that means if 5 women are supported by 5 men, they will take less than 50 days. If 5 men are supported by women, they will take less than 40 days. So the answer should definitely be less than 40 days. Are you understanding the logic? So that means we can rule out these options. 90 is out. 70 is out. Because that is more than 40. Our answer should be less than 40. Now only 2 choices remain. Either it is 35 days or none of these. Okay. Now let's see how you get to the answer. Like earlier, we will do the problem in 2 methods. Okay, so that you understand the basic theoretical approach, and then we will go for a faster method to get to the answer. Let's say these people are involved in the construction of a house. Let me call the total work K, because I have already given W to women. So in order to avoid confusion, let me take the total work as K. 10 men take 20 days to do K work. Can you tell me how much work will 10 men do in a single day in terms of K? I want you to respond. So otherwise, we will lose the tempo of this session. So it is K by 20 because I brought down the number of days to 1 by 20th. So time, the amount of work done also will become 1 by 20th. Now, if I bring down the number of people also to 110, if I make it one man, 1 day, how much will that man do in a day in terms of K? K by 20 by 10, that is K by 200. Now, let us come to the woman side. 5 women can do this work in 50 days. The work we have taken as K. So if I bring the number of days to 1, how much will 5 women do in a day in terms of K? K by 50. Because if I give them only 1/50th of the time, they will be able to do only 1/50th of the work. So now I go further, I bring down the number of women also to 1. 1 woman, 1 day. How much will they do? K by 50 divided by 5. That is K by 250. Now I know how much a man does in a day and how much a woman does in a day in terms of K. Now let us see how much will 5 men and 5 women do in a day in terms of K. 1 man will do K by 200. So 5 men will do 5 multiplied by K by 200. And I have 5 women. So plus 5 multiplied by K by 250. This is what they will do in a day in terms of K. So let's see what this is. This is K by 40 plus K by 50. Now when you have fractions like this, K by 40 plus K by 50, with the different denominators, what do you do to add? What do you add? What do you do to add? We can cross multiply or we can use the LCM. So the denominator, LCM, we can either say 50K plus 40K by 40 into 50, that is one possibility. Or you can look for the LCM, lowest common multiple. I'm writing the denominator as 200. K by 40, I want to express that in terms of denominator being 200. 40 to become 200, I need to multiply with 5, isn't it? So numerator also I need to multiply with 5 in order to keep the fraction intact. In the case of K by 50, 50 if I multiply with 4, it will become 200. So if I want to keep the fraction intact, I need to multiply the numerator also with 4. So this K by 40 plus K by 50 can be written as 5K plus 4K by 200, which is 9K by 200. Now, what is this 9K by 200? That is the amount of work done by this group of 5 women and 5 men in a single day. Now, what we want is how many days will they take? Let us say they take X days. So this multiplied by X days should be equal to the total work K. We have taken the total work K. Are you getting the point? Are you with me? So on both sides, we have K coming up. On both sides, we have K coming up. That will get cancelled off. So the value of X, we can say it will be 200 divided by 9, which is 22.2 days or 23 days. Okay. So the answer is none of these. So let's see let's have a quick revision of what we did here. This is a very important thought process. What we did was we started off with total work as K. So the group of people that we have is 10 men. They take 20 days to do the work K. So if I bring down the number of days to 1 day, then they will do only 1 by 20th. 10 men will do K by 20 in a day. If I bring down the number of men to 1 man will do in 1 day K by 200. Similarly, on the woman side, I can say 1 woman in 1 day will do K by 250. So 5 men and 5 women in a day will do 5 multiplied by K by 200 plus 5 multiplied by 250, which is, you will get it as 9K by 200. So let us assume that they require X days and In X days, they finish the job. We have taken the total job as K. So 9K by 200 multiplied by X should be equal to K. From that, we get X is 200 divided by 9, 2.2. Now, this was the theoretical method. This was the long method. Now that you know the long method, let's see how you find the answer in a quick fire method. Let's look at the faster method, an easier method. The question says we have a group of 5 men and 5 women coming to do this job. How many days will they take? That is the question. Now, if this was only men or only women, it was easier for us, as we have seen in the earlier case. If 10 men take 20 days, if 10 men take 20 days, okay, to do this work, we can take the total work as 10 multiplied by 20, 200. Okay, that will be a good number to work with. So if I know that total work is 200, actually when I say 200, the unit is 200 man days. Okay, what is a man day? Amount of work done by a man in a day is a man. So 200 man days. If that is so, if I ask you a question about men, how many days will 3 men take to do this job? You can say 200 divided by 3, very easy. If I ask the question, how many days will 20 men take to do this job? Then 200 divided by 20, very easy. Similarly, if it was only women, 5 women take 50 days. So 5 multiplied by 50, 250 would be a good number to work with for women. 250 would be a good number to work with for women. But keep in mind, 250 is 250 women days. Now, a man day is not equal to a woman day. Why is it not equal to a woman day? What is a man day? A man day is the amount of work done by a man in a day. And what is a woman day? It is the amount of work done by a woman in a day. They need not be equal. They can be equal, but they need not be. So this same house can be expressed in terms of 200 man days and in case of 250 women days. To work with, 200 is a good number for men, 250 is a good number for women, but they don't go together. So what we do here to get this answer is we look for a number which is a multiple of 200 and a multiple of 250. Can you tell me the lowest common multiple of 200 and 250? What is the lowest common multiple of 200 and 250? LCM of 200 and 250. 5 is the factor. 5 is a factor. We are not looking at factor. We are looking at multiple. 200 multiple will be 400, 600, 800, 1000, etc. 250's multiple will be 250, 500, 750, etc. 500 is a multiple of 250, but not a multiple of 200. Two is a factor. Yeah. So 1000 is the lowest common multiple. There are other multiples. 2000 is a multiple. 10,000 is a multiple. We are not looking at higher order multiples. We are looking at the lowest common multiple. And 1000 is the lowest common multiple. So let me use 1000 as the total work. Total work, instead of saying 200 or instead of saying 250, let me take total work as 1000. Okay. Then 10 men take 20 days to do 1000. Can you tell me how much will 10 men do in one day? If I take the total work as 1000, can you tell me how much will 10 men do in single day? 1000 divided by 20, 1000 divided by 20, which is 50. Okay. Then, can you tell me how much will one man do in a day? If I take the total work as 1000, how much will one man do in a day? 50 divided by 10. 50 divided by 10. So that is 5. So if I take the total work as 1000, what a man will do in a day will be 5. Now let's come to the woman side. 5 women working for 50 days will do 1000. Can you tell me how much will 5 women do in one day? How much will 5 women do in a day? 1000 divided by 50, 1000 divided by 50, 1000 divided by 50. What is that? 1000 divided by 50. Sachu, what is 1000 divided by 50? Yeah, it is 20. So 5 women in one day, 20. What about 1 woman in a day? 1 woman in one day? 20 divided by 5, that is 4. So when I start with the total work as 1000, if I start the total work as 1000, then what a man does in a day is 5, what a woman does in a day is 4. Okay. So how much will 5 men and 5 women do? 5 men and 5 women do? A man will do 5. A man will do 5. So 5 men will do 5 multiplied by 5. Thus, a woman will do 4. So 5 women will do 5 multiplied by 4. So adding up, you get 25 plus 20 is 45. So this is the total work that a man and a woman, so 5 men and 5 women do in a single day if I take the total work as 1000. How many days will be required to do this work? Total work is 1000. Total work is 1000. Every day they do 45. Okay. The answer would be 1000 divided by 45, which is 200 by 9, which is 22 point. So in this technique, what we did was we look for a number. Why did we, instead of going for W, if you use the number, the advantage is the calculation becomes easy. Whatever number you choose, don't worry, you will get the same answer. If you choose a good number, the calculation becomes easy. 200 is a good number for men, 250 is a good number for women, but they don't go together. So we choose a number which is okay for both of them, and that number is the LCM of 200 and 250, which is 1000. So once you get that number, then we see how much will a man do in a day, how much will a woman do in a day, and how much will this group of people do in a day, and then we find out how many days they will take. Did you get the approach? Did you get the thought process right? Can we go ahead? Yes or no? Only one yes? Give me yes, yes, yes. Then we can move ahead. Now let's move ahead. Let's look at another question. Look at this. Question number 3. There are different people. Ashok, Bimal, Cyril, Deepak. Now, what is different in this question from the previous question is, in the earlier question, we had a group of men, we had a group of women. All men were identical, all women were identical. But here we have only one person, one time. Ashok is a person who can do the work in 10 days. Bimal takes 20 days, Cyril takes 12 days, Deepak takes 15 days, Deepak takes 12 days, and so on. Please give it a try and give me the answer in this format. First part, comma, second part. Now, the earlier approach that we used in the previous set of questions won't be very useful here. We can do it that way also, but it is not very useful here. First one you have given me the answer, Hari. What about the second one? All four of them work together. For the first one, possibly there is a formula. For the first one, there is a formula to get to the answer. Yeah, let me help you with this. There are four people, A, B, C, and D. A takes 10 days, B takes 20 days, C takes 15 days, and D takes 12 days to do this job. Okay. How many days will Ashok and Bimal take to do this job working together? For that, there is a formula. It is 10 multiplied by 20 divided by 10 plus 20. It is of the form AB by A plus B. You note this formula. So this will be 200 by 30 is 20 by 3 or 6.66 days. Now let's get to solving this without the formula part. Let's get to solving this first using the generic method. Then let us go for a shortcut method. You can remember this formula. If there are only two people, this is a useful formula, AB by A plus B. If there are four people, then formula becomes a little difficult. So let's first of all look at it from a generic point of view. Let's say the total work is W. Okay. We are taking the total work as W. Now I want all of you to pay attention and respond to my questions. Okay. Let's stop posting the answers, please. I want you to respond to these questions. I take the total work as W. Ashok can do this work in 10 days. So how much will Ashok do in a single day? Can you tell me how much will Ashok do in a single day? In terms of W. Let me try to address the second question. W by 10. Total work is W. Ashok requires 10 days. So every day, if I put Ashok to work, Ashok will do W by 10. What about Bimal? How much will Bimal do in a day? Bimal takes 20 days to do W. So every day Bimal will do W by 20. What about Cyril? Cyril takes 15 days. Every day Cyril will do W by 15. What about Deepak? W by 12. Now these four people are working together. So Ashok will do W by 10. Bimal will do W by 20. Cyril will do W by 15. And Deepak will do W by 12. So this is what they do in a single day when they work together. If all of them work together, this is what they in a single day. Okay. Now let us add all this. When you are looking for adding all this, since the denominators are all different, we need to look at LCM of the denominator. What is the LCM of 10, 20, 15, and 12? Can someone tell me what is the LCM of 10, 20, 15, and 12? Very good. Now, to find the LCM, there are different methods. One is the factorization method. You can look at the factors, but I usually go by a little bit of trial and error. Look at the biggest of these numbers, 20, 20 and 15. Find a common multiple. 20 and 15, the common multiple is 20 and 15. It is 60. Okay, so let us check whether 12 will go in 60. Yes, it will go. 10 will also go in 60. So the LCM is 60. So I write this with the denominator as 60. I write with the denominator as 60. Now, instead of 10, when it becomes 60, I need to multiply the numerator also with 6. So W by 10 can be rewritten as 6W by 60. Similarly, W by 20 can be rewritten as 3W by 20. I multiply both numerator and denominator with 3. W by 15 can be rewritten as 4W by 60. W by 12 can be rewritten as 5W by 60. Now I add the numerator 6 plus 3, 9 plus 9. It will be 18W by 60. 18W by 60. Now what is this 18W by 60? That is the total work that all 4 of them together will do in a single day if I take the total work as W. Now the question is, how many days will they require? Let me say they require X days. So every day they will do 18W by 60. In X days, they will do this multiplied by X. And if they complete the work, this should be equal to the total work W. Now observe, on both sides I have W that gets cancelled off. So whatever you take as the total work, it is immaterial. It comes on both sides of the equation. It gets cancelled off. So X will be 60 divided by 18, which is 10 divided by 3, or 3.33. So what we did here, I'll just have a quick recap. We took the total work as W. Then we saw how much each person will do in a day. Ashok will do W by 10, Bimal will do W by 20, Cyril will do W by 15, Deepak will do W by 12. And so when I added all of them, I got W by 10 plus W by 20 plus W by 15 plus W by 12. Since the denominators are all different, I used the LCM and I found that total work can be quantified as 18 W by 60 in a day. So if they work for X such days, they will do the total work. And once I write that equation, I will get X as 33.3 days. Are you okay with this method? If you're okay, we'll go for a faster method. Please give me a feedback. Now we are going to learn a faster method to do this. Now the problem with this W approach, okay, if I take a generic approach, if I take the total work as W, the problem with that approach is we have a lot of fractions coming up, and that makes calculation part very difficult. So let's get rid of that fraction. What we have observed is this W will come on both sides of the equation, and that will eventually get cancelled off. So it doesn't matter what we take as the total work. So let us look at this question. This person, Ashok, takes 10 days. Bimal takes 20 days. Cyril takes 15 days. Deepak takes 12 days. Right? let me take a number which is easily divisible by 10, 20, 15, and 12 as the total work. I am looking for a number for the total work. What I have observed is it doesn't matter what I take as the total work. If I take W, W will come on both sides. It will eventually get cancelled and I will get the answer. Okay. So instead of taking W as the total work, I'm looking for a number which is easily divisible by 10, 20, 15, and 12. What is that number? That's the LCM of these numbers. And we have seen that the LCM of these numbers is 60. So let us take the total work as 60. I'm taking the total work as 60. Okay. If I take the total work as 60, Ashok requires 10 days to do the total. So can you tell me how much work will Ashok do in a day? If I take total work as 60, Ashok takes 10 days to do total work. How much work will Ashok do in a day? Ashok will do 60 divided by 10, which is 6. How much will Bimal do in a day? Divided by 20, which is 3. How much will Cyril do in a day? 60 divided by 15, which is 4. How much will Deepak do in a day? 60 divided by 12, which is 5. So if all of them work together, how much will they do? Put together. Plus 3 plus 4 plus 5. I will do 18. How much should I reach? I need to reach 60. How many days will it take? 60 divided by 18 is 10 divided by 3 is 3 point. Faster, isn't it? Now let us look at what happens if only 2 of them work together. Ashok and Bimal working together. They will do 6 plus 3, 9. How many days will they take? 60 is the total work divided by 9, 6.66. All right. Now let us quickly look at some applications of this. Let me just change this presentation to a different set of questions. Give me a minute. Yeah, let us look at this. Please tell me how many days will they, or how many days more will this remaining provisions have? Read this question and give me your answer. This is an application of time and work. Now that you have learned the concepts, let's see how you can apply it. Your thoughts, work out and send me the answer. Few answers are coming. Let's see. Here, a garrison of 500 men, let's say a camp of army men with 500 men. They had food provisions which would last for them for 27 days. So the total food provision can be quantified as 500 multiplied by 27. Let us take the quantity that a man eats in a day as 1. Then what 500 people will eat in a day is 500. Then what 500 people will eat in 27 days would be 500 multiplied by 27. Okay, so 5, 3, you can say 13500. This is the total quantity available. After 3 days, a reinforcement of 300 men joined. That means for the first 3 days, only these 500 people were there. So how much would they eat up out of this? 500 multiplied by 3. That is, they would have eaten up this much, 1,500. What remains is equivalent to 12,000. Okay. Now, how many people are there? Instead of 500, now it becomes 500 plus 300. That is, the number of people became 800 now. So every day they will eat up 800 units out of this. Multiplied by X days be equal to 12,000. What will be X? X will be 12,000 divided by 800. That is 120 divided by 8. 15 days. Okay, what was the thought process? Let me just go through this once again. The thought process was, let's say the amount of food provisions that a person will eat in a day, I'm taking as 1. So how much will 500 people eat in a day? Will be 500. How much will 500 people eat in 27 days? That will be 500 multiplied by 27, which is 13,500. This much quantity is available. Now, 500 people ate up for the first 3 days. So out of this, 1,500 is over. What remains is 12,000. Now, 300 people more joined this party. So the number of people became 800. So every day they will eat up 800 out of 12,000. how many days will they take, or how many days will this last? 12,000 divided by 800, which is 15 days. Did you understand? Anyone has a doubt? If yes, please let me know. Otherwise, we'll move ahead. Please say yes if you can move ahead. I think we'll do one more time and work, and then we will go on to time, speed, distance. Let's look at this last question from time and work, and then we will move on to time, speed, distance. Time and work is a confusing, difficult subject for many. The more questions you do, the better you will become. Always work with basic thinking. Don't get confused with formulae. The concepts need to be put to use. Let's try this. Two people, Rahul and Sunil. Let's say this is the beginning of the work, this is the end of the work. Rahul can finish this work in 16 days. Rahul can finish this work in 16 days. So if I take the total work as W, possibly every day Rahul will do W by 16. When he worked at it for 4 days, Then Sunil joined. Okay? And they completed the work in 4 more days. So somewhere in the middle, Sunil joined. Rahul was here. Then Sunil joined. And they finished the work. Here 4 days. Here 4 days. First 4 days only Rahul is working. And the second 4 days, both Sunil and Rahul work. This is how it will happen if you visualize using this picture. So can you tell me how many days did Rahul work? How many days did Rahul work? Rahul can finish the work. If he works alone, he can finish the work in 16 days. Now, when he worked for 4 days, the work is only 4 by 16 over. Sunil joined. And together, they finished the work in 4 more days. Okay. Can you tell me how many days did Rahul work? Rahul worked alone for 4 days and worked with Sunil for 4 more days. So Rahul worked for 8 days. If Rahul works for 1 day, Rahul will 1 by 16th of the total work. So if Rahul works for 8 days, Rahul will do 8 by 16 or 1 by 2. Half the work is done by Rahul. Are you getting me? Are you getting this thought process? No. Initially, Rahul worked for 4 days. That was alone. Then Sunil joined. They together worked for 4 more days. So total Rahul worked for 8 days. Every day Rahul will do 1 by 16 of the total work because Rahul requires 16 days if he works alone. So in 8 days, Rahul will do 8 by 16, 1 by 2. So the remaining half is done by Sunil. The remaining half by Sunil. Okay. And Sunil takes 4 days for that. 4 days to do half the work. Sunil takes 4 days to do half the work. So how many days will Sunil require to do full work? Sunil can do half the work in 4 days. So full work in 8 days. So the answer is 8. There is no need of any formulas and things of that kind. If you just think through this very, very carefully, you will get to the answer quickly. Okay. So let's move ahead. Let's stop time and work. Too much of time and work is not good for health. So let's move on. Let's look at time, speed, distance. Okay. Let's look at this. Now, in time, speed, distance, if you are looking at a topic called time, speed, distance, there are 3 parameters involved: time, speed, and distance. All time, speed, distance problem, time and distance problems will have these 3 parameters involved: time, speed, and distance. Can someone tell me what is the relationship between time, speed, and distance? How are they related? Speed is distance by time. Very good. Velocity is more or less related to speed. Velocity is speed with direction. Velocity is a vector. Speed is not a vector. Speed is a scalar quantity. Speed is distance divided by time. This is the only relationship that you should remember. Okay. Everything else can be derived from this. If I say speed equals distance by time, then what will be distance? Distance equal to speed multiplied by time. What about time? Time will be distance divided by speed. Okay. Now, can you tell me what is the unit of speed? Unit of speed? Meter per second, kilometer per hour. Both of them are the most commonly used unit of speed. In our part of the world, we use kilometers per hour. If you go abroad and if you are in a country where miles are the commonly used distance measurement, then they will use miles per hour. So the 2 common units are kilometers per hour and meters per second. You need to be comfortable converting one from the other. Can you tell me how do you convert 1 kilometer per hour? Can you convert it into meter per second? 1 kilometer per hour, you convert that into meters. 1 kilometer is 1000 meters divided by 1 hour. Hour is 60 minutes and each minute is 60 seconds. Okay. So this will be 1000 by 60 multiplied by 60, which is 1000 by 3600, which is 5 by 18 meters per second. So 1 kilometer per hour is 1 kilometer per hour is 5 by 18 meter per second. And on the other side, the other way around, one meter per second be 18 by 5 kilometers per hour. These two things you should remember. Don't forget this because you will have to use this in a lot of conversions. Now, another concept that you need to remember in time, speed, distance problems is the concept of average speed. The first question that we are looking at is based on average speed. When you are asked to find average speed, don't ever find average speed by finding the averages or the speeds. You will be given a lot of speeds. Don't ever get into the habit of finding average speed by finding averages or the speeds. You will get it wrong. What you have to do is you have to look at the total distance traveled by total time. Let's say I travel from Trivandrum to Cochin. The first part of my journey, for some distance, I traveled at 30 kilometers per hour. Then I traveled at 75 kilometers per hour for an hour. And then I traveled at 35 kilometers per hour for 2 hours. And then I traveled the remaining distance at 40 kilometers per hour. And it took me about 5 hours to travel 200 kilometers. Let's say it took me 5 hours to travel 300 kilometers. If I say that, don't bother about whatever I have mentioned in between. Don't bother about all those details. Just see how much distance did I travel. I traveled 300 kilometers. And how much time, total time, did I take? It took me 5 hours. So what is my average speed? 300 by 5. 300 by 5 is 60 kilometers per hour. So average speed is always to be found out as total distance by total time. This average speed concept is very useful in real life because in real life, you won't be able to travel at constant speed. Maybe in a train journey, maybe in a plane journey, you will be able to do that. But in real life, road journeys, you won't be able to do a constant speed travel because we have a lot of impediments on our roads. We have curves, we have turns, we have traffic, we have gutters, we have signals, we have pedestrians crossing, we have blocks. So we will not be able to travel at a constant speed. So under such circumstances, a good measure to describe the entire journey would be this average speed. Always find average speed as total distance by total time. So when you do all time speed distance problems, these are the basic relationship that you should remember. From now on, it is application of this basic thinking, basic concept. Let's do a few problems based on this. Let's go on to the first question. Please try this. Look at this question. Here, total distance is given directly. What you need to find is the average speed of the whole journey for this journalist. He's traveling in a peculiar way. Total distance is available directly. Now you need to find the time. And then total distance by total time. We have one answer coming. Arnold, Jyotiradityan, 2 answers. I want everyone to participate. There is no point in being passive in this class. Unless you participate, you will not gain anything. So let's see how you approach this. As I said earlier, the basic relationship that you need to remember is total average speed equals total distance by total time. Here, total distance is known as 1200 kilometers. Now we need to find total time. Total time is not that easily available. What you have to look at is we have to look at this journey in 3 parts. The first part, let's see the time taken for the first part. She covers 1/3 of the distance. 1/3 of what distance? 1/3 of 1200. 1/3 of 1200. 1200, 1/3 of that. That is 400. 400 kilometers this journalist travels at a speed of 20 kilometers per hour. So you just remember this speed equals distance by time. So time will be distance by speed. That is what we are applying. Time for the first part of the journey, distance is 400 and the speed is 20 kilometers per hour. So 400 by 20 will be 20 hours for the first part. Then for the second part, what happens? 1/4 of the remaining distance, that is out of 1200, she traveled 400 in the first part. Then the remaining is 800. In this 800, 1/4 of 800. 1/4 of 800 is 200. 200, she traveled at a speed of 40 kilometers per hour. So it is 5 hours. So out of 800, 200 is over. And what remains is 600 more kilometers. And those 600 kilometers, she traveled at a speed of 24 kilometers per hour. So here, the third part, time will be 600 kilometers by 24. 600 by 24, that is 100 by 4, that is 25 hours. So put together, the total time taken will be 20 plus 5 plus 25. Total time taken will be 50 hours. So we have total time as 50 hours. And so the answer would be 1200 by 50. When you do 1200 by 50, please keep in mind, dividing by 50 is a little more difficult than dividing by 100. So let us make the denominator 100. How do you make your denominator 100? You have to multiply denominator with 2. So if the fraction should not change, you need to multiply numerator also with 2. So let us make it 2400 by 100. Becomes 24 kilometers per hour. So that is our answer. Average speed would be 24 kilometers per hour. Now, what do you mean by 24 kilometers per hour average speed? What it simply means is, if this journalist was traveling at a constant speed of 24 kilometers per hour, then he would have covered the entire 1200 kilometers in the 50 hours. So what is average speed? Average speed is that speed at which had the body or the person traveled the entire duration, they would cover the entire distance. It is that speed at which if one travels, you will cover the entire distance in the given time. Okay. Let's move ahead. Let's look at another application question. Basic formulas remain the same. You need to apply your mind, get to the answer. Now, in this question, can you tell me which of the three parameters, time, speed, distance, time, speed, or distance, which parameter will remain the same throughout all the given situations? Which parameter? Distance. Whether this person increases his speed or decreases his speed, time will change, speed will change, but the distance remains the same. Let's say this person is traveling from the house to the office. Distance remains the same. And what is the distance formula? Distance equal to speed multiplied by time. Isn't it? Let's apply the basic thought. Distance equal to speed multiplied by time. Let's say this person travels at a usual speed s. And when he travels at usual speed s, let's say he takes t time to reach the office. Now, when this person travels at 40 kilometers per hour, when the speed becomes 40 kilometers per hour, speed unit is kilometers per hour. Distance I will get in kilometers. Let's say the time is in hours. If this person travels at 40 kilometers per hour, what they are saying is, this person is late by 10 minutes. Now, if the person is late, will he take less time or more time? If the person is late, he will take more time, isn't it? So, if under normal circumstances, this person was taking t time, t hours, now this person will take t plus 10, isn't it? Now, if I write t plus 10, that will be a mix of two units because I have taken t in terms of hours. So let me convert this 10 minutes into hours. I can say t plus, if I convert 10 minutes into hours, I need to divide by 60. So this is the new time. 40 is the speed. The new time is the earlier time in hours plus the extra time, 10 minutes late. So 10 by 60. So 40 multiplied by 10, t plus 10 by 60. Now this should also be equal to the same distance because distance does not change. Now let's look at the third case. When this person travels at 60 kilometers per hour, this person reaches early. Early means more time or less time? less time. So it will be T minus. The time taken will be T minus 12 by 60. Latest reaches 12 minutes early. And this should also be equal to D. This should also be equal to D because distance remains the same. Now we have two relationships in D. Let me equate the two. What happens? I can say 40 multiplied by T plus 10 by 60. I'm writing it as 1 by 6 equals 60 multiplied by T minus 1 by. Now it's a matter of simplification. You will get the value of T. Once you get the value of T, you can substitute in any of these equations and get the value of the distance. So let me expand this bracket. What I have is 40T plus 40 by 6. Now don't convert these fractions into decimals. That will make things complicated. This equals 60T minus 60 divided by 5. I made a small mistake. Nobody pointed that out. Please keep in mind here it is. There's a small difference. It's 5 minutes early, not 12 minutes early. I missed that. 5 minutes early. So it is 5 by 60. I'm sorry. Right. Here it is. T minus 60 by 12, that is 5. Let's go ahead with the simplification. T plus 20 by 3 plus 80 minus 5. Take the T to one side, it becomes 20T equals 5 plus 20 by. I have 20T equals 35 by 3, and so T equals 35 by 60. So T will be 35 by 60. What is this? The time taken. Normal time taken. That is 35 minutes. Now let us put that into one of these equations. Let me put that into the first equation and let me find the value of D. D equals 40 multiplied by T plus 10 by 60. The value of T we have taken as 35 by 60 plus 10 by 60. This is 40 multiplied by 45 by 60. 40 multiplied by 3 by 4. So you will get the answer as 30 kilometers. Answer is 30 kilometers. Now let's go through once again how we solve this. There are two parts to this solution, two parts to this problem solving. First part is forming of these equations. Okay. In order to form the equation, we understood that the parameter that does not change in this given situation is the distance. Distance remains the same. Whether you increase the speed or decrease the speed, distance remains the same. So let us assume that the time taken is t, normal speed is s, then the distance is t, d equal to s multiplied by t. In the first case, where the speed is given as 40, this person becomes late by 10 minutes. Late means more time. So time taken will be t plus 10 by 60. T will be 40 multiplied by t plus 10 by 60. And in the second case, it will be speed will be 60. This person comes early by 5 minutes. So t minus 5 by 60. So we have two equations. I equated the two, eliminating d, and I got a relationship in one variable t. I found out the value of t and substituted that in the first equation. You can also substitute in the second equation. You will get the same answer. Are you with me? Did you understand? Please give me a yes or a no. Let me go to a simpler problem, a little more easier one. But you need to apply your mind. Try this question. We have a train. It crosses an electric pole. It crosses a bridge. In both the situations, you can assume that the speed of the train remains the same. Speed of the train remains the same. Let's say it is s. I want everyone to put up your answers. Let's look at the situation. When the train crosses an electric pole and a train crosses a bridge, the situations are slightly different. Let's say we have a train here. We draw up the train. Let's say this is the train. Length of the train is L. The speed of the train is S. Okay. And there is an electric pole here by the railway track. When this train crosses this electric pole, the of the electric pole when compared to the length of the train is negligible. Okay. So when the train crosses the electric pole, the distance that the train travels, what will be the distance? The distance that the train travels will be the length of the train. When the train crosses the electric pole, distance travel will be the length of the train. Now it says it takes 8 seconds for this train to cross this electric pole. And we know distance equal to speed multiplied by time. So in the first case, when this train crosses the electric pole, I can say distance is L, speed is S, and time is 8 seconds. When the train crosses the bridge, let me say the bridge is having a length which is B. Length of the bridge is B. Okay. When the train reaches the beginning of the bridge, we will say that the train has started crossing the bridge. Let's say that when the train reaches here, we'll say that the train has started crossing the bridge. After some time, the train would come like this. Okay. Did the train cross the bridge? No, it is still in the bridge. After some more time, the train has to move out of the bridge for us to say that the train has crossed the bridge, isn't it? So in this process, the distance that the train travels will be first the length of the bridge and further the length of the train. So the distance that the train travels when it crosses the bridge will be length of the train plus the length of the bridge. Okay. In this case, the length of the bridge is given to us. It is mentioned that it is 200 meters. The distance traveled by the train when it crosses the bridge will be L plus 200. That should be equal to the speed into the time taken. Speed is S itself, it doesn't change. Time taken, it is mentioned in the question that it is 18 seconds. So S multiplied by 8. Now what we want is the length of the train. So let us straight away find a method to get L from these relationships. Let us divide one by the other. So what happens? We have L plus 200 by L equals S gets cancelled. What remains is 18 by 8. Okay. Now let's cross multiply. 8L plus 1600 equals 18L. Take 8L to the other side. So we have 10L is 1600. So length of the train is 1600 divided by 10, which is 160 meters. So what we did here was we looked at the two situations. In the first situation, when the train crosses the electric pole, the distance traveled will be the length of the train itself, and the distance traveled by the train when it crosses the bridge. It can also be the platform. If the train crosses a platform, then also it will be length of the train plus length of the platform. Okay, and that will be equal to the speed of the train multiplied by the time. Those times are given, so we put those into these relationships, and then it is a matter of solving it. Let's look at the last question. Let's look at the final question for the day. One more application question. Here we have a boat traveling in a stream. Some basic theory and terminologies are required, so I want all of you to pay attention here. Please pay attention. A boat that has its own speed of 6 km per hour is on a stream moving at 4 km per hour. What is mentioned is there is a stream which is moving at a speed of 4 km per hour. So what happens is if I put something on this, okay, let's say a boat. If I put something on this, a floating object, maybe a log, maybe a piece of paper, okay, maybe a plastic bottle. Okay, what happens is this stream, it flows at a speed of 4 km per hour. So it will carry this object over at a speed of 4 km per hour. That is what is mentioned there. Now this boat comes into the stream. This boat has a still water speed of 6 kilometers per hour. What does it mean? If it is traveling in a lake or a pond, if it is traveling in a lake or a pond, it has a speed of 6 kilometers. Let's say the speed of the boat is B. The speed of the stream is S. Then in all these aptitude problems that you get from boats and streams, there are two types of situations. One is the boat is traveling in the direction of the stream. The other is the boat is traveling in the opposite direction. The boat is traveling in the direction of the stream, then we call that downstream direction. Downstream. Why is it called downstream? Because water flows from a higher level downward, and that direction, natural flowing direction, is called downstream. Okay. And the other direction is called upstream. Now, when this boat, which has a speed B, comes into this stream, which has a speed S, what happens is, if it is trying to move downstream, the boat's speed and the stream speed support each other. And so downstream speed will be boat's speed plus stream speed, B plus S. Whereas upstream speed will be boat will try to move in this direction at a speed B. The stream will try to push it in the other direction at speed S. So effectively, be B minus S. Okay. So in this case, the boat's speed is 6 kilometers per hour. The stream speed is 4 kilometers per hour. So what is the upstream speed? Upstream speed will be 6 minus 4, which is 2. What is downstream speed? Downstream speed will be 6 plus 4, which is 10. What is saying? He said is, it takes 12 hours for the boat to travel a certain distance upstream and the same distance back. The boat is traveling a certain distance in the stream, up downstream first and then upstream. So first it goes from A to B and comes back to A. The total time taken is 12 hours. Let's say the distance is D. The distance is D. Then I can say the time taken for the first part, downstream time taken will be the distance D divided by the speed 10. We know speed equals distance by time. So time will be distance by speed. The downstream time taken, the first part, the time taken will be D by 10. How will I get that? D is the distance and the downstream speed is 10. How did I get downstream speed as 10? The boat's normal speed is 6 and the stream speed is 4. When it moves downstream, the boat will be supported by the stream. And when it is coming in the opposite direction, upstream, when it tries to travel upstream, distance is D itself, but the speed, because of the resistance from the stream, it reduces, it becomes D minus S, 6 minus 4, that is 2. The sum of these two times, time taken by the boat to move downstream plus time taken by the boat to move upstream, both of them added together is mentioned as 12 hours. Okay, so that is the relationship that we have. Now it's a matter of solving it. LCM of 10 and 2, LCM is 10. So D by 10, I'll keep it as D by 10 itself. D by 2, I'll write it as 5D by 10. This should be equal to 12. So 6D by 10 equal to 12. And so D will be 20. D will be 20. So I think on that note, we'll have a final summary of what we did today. We looked at two important concepts. We looked at time, speed, distance in the second half, and we looked at time and work. Now, both of these are very, very important as far as your aptitude preparations are concerned, because these are areas from which you will get quite a few questions. Okay. So when you prepare for aptitude test papers, please be under the idea that there is no syllabus for an aptitude test paper. Nevertheless, if you prepare these 50 important topics and concepts, you will be able to do reasonably well in all aptitude test papers. And during this 10 hours, we will touch upon most of the important areas from quant, logic, and verbal. There will still be a lot of areas that we have not covered. Those you can definitely look up from our YouTube channel, or look at from ICT Academy's content, or you can also look at other YouTube channels for more content. Okay. On that note, I think we'll take leave. Tomorrow we'll meet at the same time. And thank you very much for being part of the session. Thank you. Good night. Good night to all of you. Thank you. Thank you all. Thanks.